Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So one thing that we have been discussing on this channel for a very long time, and if you guys are a fan of the channel and if you guys have been watching for a while, you should know that we have been paying attention to what the BRICS have been doing. Why? Well, number one, we have been watching gold. Gold has been being accumulated by the BRICS nations for a very long time in massive quantities. A big one has been, of course, China with Russia. Both of them have been accumulating a huge amount of gold, and China has not done a full-on reserve transparency report in a very long time. So a lot of people have been trying to predict how much gold China actually has. They are one of the biggest importers of gold, so I'm sure that it is a very large amount. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, it wouldn't be necessarily a big deal if we weren't seeing the US dollar being sort of thrown to the side while these major areas are utilizing gold instead. That is actually happening. So let's actually jump into this and let's talk about this from Gold Telegraph. So one, we do see Turkey is in talks to give up to $10 billion in funding from Qatar. Saudi Arabia is in talks to deposit $5 billion into Turkey's central bank. What do two countries have in common? Interest in joining BRICS. Who influences energy markets? Who is looking to become an energy hub? And yes, everything around these major names are really kind of unfolding at a rapid pace, and it is all centered around the BRICS nations. I mentioned many times that the BRICS are creating this new financial system. They want to reinvent themselves away from the US dollar as well as a US dollar backed system. The biggest shift that happened was, of course, Russia being cut off from SWIFT. That was a big deal. The sanctions from the U.S. has been really kind of a financial weapon that we've been utilizing for a very long time, and these nations are kind of tired of that. Now, we do see it is ironic how countries are returning to gold in an attempt to stabilize local currencies after trashing the pet rock for years. It should surprise nobody. When confidence begins to fade, countries get reintroduced to the power of gold. And yes, confidence has been really kind of fading around these currencies for a while, specifically with what the United States has been doing so long with the US dollar, which is just kind of inflating it at a rapid pace, where the price of it is really not in a stable area. The US dollar has been dropping rapidly recently. We've been focused on it. We've been reporting on it. And I do think that at some point in time, we are going to be seeing one massive move away from a US dollar, and it's already kind of starting with BRICS. It's starting slowly, but soon it will be all at once. And what do I mean by that? Well, when we go look over here, we do see we now have Ghana working on a new policy to use gold to buy oil products instead of dollars. I talked to you guys a little bit about Saudi Arabia pulling out of the petrodollar deal. That is going to be a big one because at the end of the day, that's probably the only thing at this current moment in time that is holding the dollar together. Once the petrodollar deal is gone, the US dollar is going to rapidly decrease, not only in value, but also it's probably going to lose its reserve currency standard. Now, we also do see our gold miners will sell 20% of refined bullion to the central bank in local currency at no discount. CD is down 57% this year. Who said gold is a barbarous relic? The future is coming. And yes, as we look at gold, I do believe that gold is going to play a vital role in this. We will discuss that here in a second, but we also do see over here breaking news. Ghana's government is working on a new policy regime where gold will be used to buy oil products rather than the US dollar reserves. If implemented as envisioned, the new policy will fundamentally change our balance of payments and significantly reduce the persistent depreciation of our currency. And that's the big goal here, right? All of these nations are seeing a depreciation of their currency because it's all tied to the US dollar. The US dollar being the reserve currency affects the global currency standard. This is a big deal. Now, As we look at a few things, this is one of the charts that I have been watching for closely. So let me actually open these images up in a new tab, and let's look at this. So one, the coming reset of the international monetary system. Now, a few of this stuff we looked at back in time, really kind of talking about how XRP could very well be the global bridge currency in a new gold SDR system. In my opinion, I do believe that that is going to be the case here. I believe that gold, as it continues to appreciate in not only demand, but also value, I believe that this new SDR system will be backed by gold. And I think that we are already kind of seeing that around central banks that are hoarding massive amounts of gold. And we actually do see them talking about gold realities and gold myths up there. And we do see the gold price, non-deflationary price of gold in global gold-backed SDR standard, tier 1, the SDR, which would be defined as equal to a specified weight in gold, and then tier 2, each local currency unit would be defined as a specified quantity of SDRs, since local currency is defined in SDRs and SDRs are defined in gold. By extension, every local currency would be worth a specified weight in gold. Finally, since every local currency is in a fixed relationship to SDRs and gold, each currency would also be in a fixed relationship to one another. Meaning, when we look at everything around the SDR, the basket of currencies, a lot of people focus on the price of XRP. This is where people think that XRP will be backed by gold in terms of gold prices. We actually do see the price of XRP here. XRP would be defined as a specified quantity of SDRs, just like the local currencies. So it would have a fixed price to gold, essentially. Now, to me, again, when we look at the settlement process behind XRP as a bridge currency, I do believe that the value of XRP would have to increase significantly. Why? Well, if you're moving massive amounts of money, you would need massive amounts of XRP. What would be more efficient is moving, smaller amounts of XRP worth a lot more that could move higher value payments. That would be the big goal here. Now, with all this in mind, they do start with the participation. In order to participate in the new gold SDR system, a member nation would have an open capital account, meaning that its currency would have to be freely convertible into SDRs, gold, or currencies of the other participating members, aka a bridge currency. Now, with all of this in mind, as we do look at a few things, I think that this system would work perfectly because XRP, being a bridge currency, is also a decentralized currency, which is a big, efficient standard around something like this payment mechanism, because guess what? You have these major nations that don't want to utilize something that is fully controlled. That is the big issue right now with our current monetary system. Why? Well, it's very simple, right? All of these major countries' currencies are depreciating because of what the United States has been doing for so long around our current financial system. Now, with this in mind, this secondary tab here talks about things around money supply, China's gold deception, an echo of the old Bretton Woods system, emergency powers, the monetary policy, the role of central banks, all that kind of stuff. Now, a few things I do want to mention here, and the only things I really kind of want to take off of this slide is a few things. So, we look at global markets, right? Global markets in oil and other natural resources would now be priced in SDRs rather than dollars as well. All of this would be a fully new decentralized system. There wouldn't be a full-on reserve currency the way most people think. Do I think that the BRICS are moving towards this full new system right now? Not necessarily. I do think that there is a few plans in place. I think that the BRICS, for the most part, are moving towards crypto, though. They have been focused on crypto for a while. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens around this, but I think that this is the best breakdown that we have seen so far around what could very well be happening, because this would be a very well echo of the old Bretton Woods system, and it could very well be a very, very efficient financial system as well. If we are looking at going back to like the gold standard, this would actually be a lot more efficient, because the problem with the gold standard that we've talked about on this channel as well in the past is just that there wasn't enough of the supply. So when we look at this, this could very well be interesting because we already have the supply there. It's backed by gold prices, and ultimately this wouldn't be utilizing like a gold-backed system fully. It's more of a new SDR system that would have a gold backing to it, which is kind of the same thing technically. But when we are looking at this slide over here, you could see how all of this would work, because you are still utilizing these central bank digital currencies that would be backed by gold, which I've always said on this channel, which is kind of the way that I think, which would be CBDCs backed by gold issued out on DLT, aka Ledger Technology, which I think could very well be extremely efficient in a new financial system. Now, with all of this, as we talk about a few things happening behind the scenes with the current financial system, one thing that I do want to note and really kind of focus on is CBDCs. And we do see over here, this is from 801_XRP. We do see Ripple XRP fam, CBDCs will have a role in the future. We're trying to position XRP as that bridge currency or that bridge asset. Again, going back to this slide, we do see XRP over here, bridge currency, between all of these central bank digital currencies, because all of these currencies are going to try to transact between one another. How are they going to do that? Well, you need something that is easily convertible. This would be XRP that could, again, fully decentralized, no control of it. It's freely convertible. This would be the far more efficient way of going about things within the monetary system. So listen closely to this. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's very in-depth on where we are very well possibly headed to.
And how the law interprets this. But let me ask you a slightly different question, because, you know, I'm probably the biggest conspiracy theorist around this desk here. and I'd love to know what you think about this. We've seen the blockchain and use of the blockchain progress, even as there's been this whole other stuff going on with FTX and so on and so forth. And in the background, the blockchain has been adopted for CBDC experiments. You know, the Bank of France issued a bond with it, and so on and so on. So it's happening. Is there a story here or a narrative where every time one of these blow-ups happen, it solidifies the case for the authorities to ring-fence digital and crypto around a CBDC, and your industry dies unless you get on board with a government-mandated, central bank-controlled digital currency?
I view these as separate pieces. Central bank, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, I think may have a role in the future of crypto. Ripple has publicly announced several countries we're working with, where countries, to your point, are doing pilots and testing, issuing central bank really stable coins of a fiat on the XRP ledger. Those are countries like Romania and Bhutan. Right now I view those as tests. Separately, I mean, those are all stable coins, right? They're tied to a fiat. Separately, obviously, you have cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, like XRP, that trade independent of any fiat. I don't view as one versus the other. And Ripple has always taken the point of view that these are complementary. We're trying to work with the industry. And at the end of the day, if you have a plethora of CBDCs, you still have the need to settle from the British pound to the Argentinian peso. And we're really trying to position XRP, because it's so scalable, because it's so cheap per transaction, so fast, as that bridge asset. And if we can make the entire global economy more efficient for global trade by using that bridge asset, because again, the core of what Ripple's solving, today a cross-border transaction, typically viewed as SWIFT, is slow, it's expensive, it's error-prone. We should not rely upon technology from literally 50 years ago.
And that is also a big one to mention, is the fact that he talked about the scalability of XRP, right? So again, like I said, going back to this initial view, so the big problem with the gold-backed system was the fact that gold was not, it wasn't easily scalable because there wasn't enough supply of gold. But having this sort of system where you have gold backing the SDR standard, and having these currencies defined to a equal specified weight in gold, would ultimately change the entire way that we are looking at a gold-backed system. It would bring a gold-backed system into the modern age and have it fully scalable by something like XRP. XRP could facilitate almost all the money if it is becoming a bridge currency. That's where they are positioning it already currently. If that is the case, like I said, the amount of XRP that's out there, that 50 billion, 49 billion I think that now is in escrow, but even the 100 billion, right? That is plenty for this new system. But the problem is the price, because you could have things priced to, we'll say 1/1500th of an ounce of gold, or you could have it priced to 1 ounce of gold. Whatever the case is, we could have a specified XRP value derived from gold. It wouldn't be backed by gold. A lot of people confuse the idea of like XRP being backed by gold. It would be priced to gold. So it would kind of have this coupling value derived to it, which it would be very interesting. And again, this could be very, very efficient compared to what we are seeing now within our current monetary system, as well as even going back to the gold standard that we did have previously. Now, with all of this in mind, why do I think that this could very well be a reality? Well, we are already seeing a major shift towards gold currently around the BRICS nations, which we know that they are trying to create a new global standard around currency. I think that this is a big deal. I think that everyone should be focused on this, because if this is the case, if we do have XRP, because again, this is speculation, but if we do have XRP being that bridge currency, facilitating massive amounts of transactions and moving major amounts of value every single day, the value of XRP would have to significantly be higher than it is right this moment. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.